Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your February 2025 tarot readings for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology that your North Node's your North Star. It's what you're here to learn, accomplish, and master in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life and much more accurate in tarot readings. Now remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, the big themes for this month have to do with the planets Venus and Mercury. You know, Venus being the planet of love and relationships, and Mercury being the planet of communication and the intellect. So as the planet Venus gets ready to go retrograde, she's going to start slowing down, and we're going to start revisiting old relationships, whether that be romantic, family, friends. And also we're going to start looking at our relationships, the undercurrents, our current relationships at a deeper level. And then with Mercury in the mix, we're going to start seeing how is it we're communicating to not only through our relationships, but communicating to the universe through our own frequency. So these are some of the themes that we will be touching on this month. Now with that, I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides, guardians, and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you for the first half of February is the reversed Knight of Wands. Now, all the Knight cards are cards of movement, and Wands are about, energy and the movement of energy within us and out into the greater world. And I think that's going to be a big theme for the first half of February. Is there's going to be this theme for you North Nodes in Aries is bringing, looking at your energy and bringing more of a Aries Mars type of energy into your life. For some of you, it could be like, there's a little bit of, energy stagnation, and I feel like that's going to be being helped, and I think it's going to be moved along. But if you're feeling like a little bit like kind of a lack of energy, I think that that's something that you are in the process of working through. Definitely with a lot of the themes that are coming up with the planet Mars this month, you're going to start to see this energy move more. What you want to become aware of through all this, we're going to get into on your timeline, which is what energy that you are emanating out of yourself into the greater world. Okay, let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards. Okay, you've got the Four of Swords reversed. You've got the Four of Cups reversed. And you also have the Ten of Pentacles upright. So this is really great energy. Now, what we're seeing here is when we're seeing the number 4 here with these two cards, the Four of Cups and the Four of Swords, 4 is a number of stability. But when it's reversed, it can be stagnation. So like think of, the opposite of you have like security and stability, but too much security and stability can be stagnation or like a jail cell type of a thing. So what I'm seeing here is that you are in the process right now of there's going to be opportunities to move away from stagnation. So starting with this Four of Swords reversed, I feel like mentally you are opening up. Okay, you could be coming out of a period of like lack of clarity within yourself, and things are becoming more clear. You're breaking out of a state of kind of stagnation, like mentally. Okay, so you're going to be feeling like that, where it's difficult when we're coming out of something, okay? It's kind of like, the best way I could describe it is when we are, sick with a cold or a flu, and then, you begin to start to feel better, but it's that in-between stage that can be kind of uncomfortable a lot of times. Now, going over here to the Four of Cups, emotionally also, I feel like a lot of stagnation is breaking up for you, okay? You're coming out of a period of maybe being just feeling like the blahs emotionally, okay? There's going to be this like a more fiery energy coming in where you could be more kind of enthusiastic. And I think this is just like a general energy that is just shifting for a lot of you. Now, where it's headed here is interesting. You've got the Ten of Pentacles. I feel a lot of this has to do with creating the life that you want. Like, what's driving this is a lot of you are beginning to think, okay, I need to come out of this one state of being if I want to get to this better place. And the Ten of Pentacles, yes, it's about, family legacy. It's about, money and finances as far as like, family stability goes. But some of the deeper meanings of this card are, you know, creating the type of stable life that you want. Like, this is the driving force. A lot of you are thinking like, okay, where is it I want to be? What do I want my like legacy to be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Like, where is it that I want to kind of take my life? And that's what's kind of motivating you. It's almost like, the dangling of the carrot in front of the horse. It's like driving the cart. And what that's doing is, when you're dreaming about this better life that you can attain, it's the fire and energy that's breaking up the stagnation. Okay, so that's really a very positive thing for you this first half of February. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Magician card and you've got the Page of Pentacles. Starting with the Page of Pentacles, okay, one of the big motivating factors is what you want to create for yourself, in the physical world, things that are tangible, things that are of value. Okay, so that could be everything from like money investments to, a home, or, just it could be like promotions, getting a better education, but basically kind of leveling up in your life. It's like a motivating factor. And what you're learning is, you're learning that you can take certain things in your life to motivate you. And that's what all this is. It's about motivation. Like some people, for example, that don't have motivation, it's not that they don't desire a better life, but there's nothing to motivate them. They might be, like stuck in a certain situation, whether that be in a work situation, a relationship situation, or a financial situation, and they want something better, but you need to have something to work for. And I think that that's what is happening, for you in your life right now, where you are getting goals. You're seeing like where it is you want to go, things that are tangible, and that's what's driving this energy. If there's nothing that you want to attain, or you don't know what you want to attain, there's not that carrot that's driving the horse and pulling the cart type of a thing. Now, with the Magician card upright, for a lot of you, what this is that this is building skill sets. So this can be everything from, and it doesn't matter where you're at in your personal life path, what age you are, okay? It could be, a lot of this is driving is like getting new skills, meaning that could be getting some further education, seminars, even reading, learning about something, okay? Because the Magician is a card of mastery. And I feel like could be also, driving this. But the advice for you is, a big factor in you creating this better life is gaining more skill in various areas of your life. And for each of you, that'll be different of what skills you're, trying to attain. It could be, as I said, something that's, furthering your education or just learning something new, but that's also kind of feeding into this. So I feel like that this first half of February, you really want to look for ways where you can enhance your knowledge, enhance your skills, and basically level up in things that you know, and kind of gather more of this information. But yeah, overall, really, really positive. And I feel like that as the month progresses, you're going to feel more and more unstuck. And that's just the kind of general energy that I'm feeling for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We will see you on some more readings. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the second house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the Page of Wands. And it's interesting because for a lot of the North Nodes, I'm seeing this month is there's a big theme of energy, because wands refer to energy, physical energy, emotional energy, mental energy. And the thing that's happening the first half of February for you North Nodes in Taurus or the second house is you are beginning to focus more on like things in your life. It seems like you're coming out of a period of distractions. Like it seems like, the last 6 months or so, and this has kind of been a big theme actually your whole life, is you're trying to live your life, you're trying to do your thing, and there's like distractions because you can see here that the page here is focusing in on his wand right here. Okay, so as opposed to you're trying to focus in on your things, and it's like this is distracting me, this relationship, this situation type of a thing. And so what you're learning is you're really, I feel, beginning to like focus in on like what your energy is, and you're blocking these other distractions that could have been coming in for the past several months. And so as you're doing this, what you're doing is you are, creating like more power. It's almost like when we get distracted and we're trying to focus in on something, each distraction kind of dilutes our efforts. And I think that as you're kind of like blocking things out, like I'm not going to get involved in that, I'm not going to worry about that, I'm focusing on what's important to me. It's you're like strengthening your path. Now remember, pages are also about communication. So part of this focus is your personal communication energetically, I think is changing and improving. When you see somebody that has made great changes, I think we've all seen this in our life, where maybe you haven't seen someone in a while, and then all of a sudden you see them and you're like, wow, like you're like a different person. And it could have been something where, let's say, they completely reinvented themselves and reinvented their life, and they may have like gotten healthy, let's say, and lost weight or something, and all of a sudden like they've changed and reinvented who they are. And we like notice that they begin to their frequency is changing of what they're communicating to the world, and it's very evident, especially if we haven't seen them for a while. And I think that that's kind of what you're doing, is you're in this process of reinventing yourself and really focusing on what's important to you. Now we'll get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards here. You've got the Four of Cups reversed. You've got the Page of Swords upright, and you've got the Eight of Cups reversed. Now, starting with the Four of Cups. So the four cards, when they're reversed, is like a stagnating energy. But it's something that you're coming out of. And I think that part of this, when you're focusing on yourself and what's important to you, and blocking other things out that you don't want to get involved in anymore, what you're doing is you are coming out of a period of like emotional stagnation, or feeling like not quite emotionally whole. You're coming out of that period. And that's one of the gifts that happens when we begin to really just kind of focus in on what's important to us, is we begin to like mentally and emotionally kind of clear up because we're not getting clouded with all these distractions. So that's one of the things that's happening. Now, another card here of communication, this is mental communication, is the Page of Swords here. And I feel like what you're learning here is, with this energy that this new energy that you're getting, you're learning to communicate a new you out into the world. But more than that, one of the things that the Page of Swords is saying is being vigilant. Like, I feel like a lot of you are being very watchful of what you are allowing yourself, or and what other situations and people, what you're allowing to get involved in. So this is a card of being vigilant, of like, wait a minute, like, I don't need this. You're basically, if you want to like put it in a basic level here, it's like the ability to see through BS and like kind of say, nope, I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's one of the things that you're learning, because I feel like one of your paths when you're a North Node in Taurus or the second house is, there's these challenges of these, highly dramatic kind of situations that want to come in, and you're just saying like, nope, not today, not today. And that's part of this kind of strengthening process. Now, the Eight of Cups here reversed is something that's interesting, because one of the things that can happen is that you want to watch out for is that there's a general tendency sometimes to not be able to walk away emotionally from situations. Okay, now this stems from your South Node in Scorpio, or the 8th house. And so this is going to be the challenge for this month, the first half of February, is, are you going to be able to walk away from things that could trigger you emotionally? So that's something to be aware of. I feel like a lot of you are moving away from this, but there is this possibility that emotionally you could get triggered and get sucked into that. Okay, some of you will breeze through it and recognize it and say, nope, I'm not going to do it. And that's why this Page of Swords is here, is be vigilant for that. Don't let yourself kind of get sucked into sticky situations that aren't really like enhancing your life. So that's something to be aware of. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Emperor reversed, and you've got the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is known as the wish card, okay, the emotional wish card. And I feel like there's an opportunity right now where you can really, really take your dreams and take them to the next level. However, the interesting thing about the Emperor is, the Emperor means many things. It means, it can mean like a parental figure. It can also like a father type figure, or mother sometimes, okay? But in this case, one of the other meanings of this is that this is an authority figure in your life, okay? Now, what is an authority figure? Okay, yes, when we list the authority figures, it could be everything from, parents, teachers, older siblings, and even like, government officials, or, law enforcement, anyone that is an authority figure, even like doctors, lawyers, and all that. So it's this huge list of things. But one of the things that this is talking about is, an authority figure in our life can also be people that are very close to us, like in our relationship. So that could be like a romantic relationship, loved one, it could be a family, friend. The reason I say that is because the people that are closest to us, the reason that they're authority figures, it's not that they're over us, they don't have authority over us, but it's because we place them in such an importance in our life. Like when we're in a romantic relationship with somebody, they are an authority figure, and we are also should be an authority figure to them, because we obviously care deeply and think, very, highly of what they think and feel, right? That's the way it should be. So we place them in a high importance. And I think that that's what this is. I think that this is saying that there is a person for each of you that is very close. It could be in a romantic relationship, family, friend relationship, that can be part of this triggering, or kind of trying to suck you in. And they're not doing it, out of spite, or they're not doing it to, they don't know what they're doing. It's just, it could be someone that is trying to draw you in again. And what you have to do is, your advice card is look at where you want to go emotionally. This is the key for you. If it doesn't make you feel good, and it doesn't seem to enhance your life, your day, your month, your week, okay? If it doesn't do that, walk away from it. Okay, if it's not giving you emotional fulfillment in some way, and that's how, this is up to you to recognize that. And this is where you use the skills of your, south node in Scorpio and or the eighth house. If it doesn't feel right, now that doesn't mean that, we need to walk away from everything. We have to, help people in our life. Obviously there's times where we can't just like walk away from everything. But what I'm saying is, if it doesn't really make sense, like sometimes people will take advantage of that. And that's what this is. What this is saying is, I feel like it's someone close to you that can suck you in without, they don't know that they're doing that, okay? And so what you have to do, again, with this Page of Swords, is be vigilant and say like, no, I can't go there again. You might say like, this is something that you just have to work through yourself. But as I said, if it's not feeling right emotionally, this is something that you can like walk away from. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value. And I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Four of Cups. And it's really interesting because for a lot of the North Nodes, I'm seeing this kind of renewal mentally and emotionally for all the North Nodes, each for slightly different ways, but I just keep seeing this really big theme for the first half of February. What I see happening is a lot of you are in the process of coming out of this kind of like emotional stagnation, and then coming into this emotional renewal. It's like a refreshing renewal. It could have been happening for the past several months, where it's just things weren't like connecting emotionally and they just weren't right. And I feel like that's kind of coming to an end for you North Nodes in Gemini and or the third house. Now we'll get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards here. You've got the Ace of Cups upright. You've got the Seven of Swords upright, and you've got the Queen of Swords. Now, for the first half of February, this is what I was saying about this kind of emotional renewal. This is this kind of beautiful energy of, I feel like a lot of you are feeling, even if it's to a small degree, just a little bit better. For each of you, how you've done on your path, there's going to be this movement forward. Some of you might feel it to a greater degree, but I think a lot of you are just feeling this, where things emotionally are moving in the right direction, and it feels like this refreshing renewal. It's almost like and even if you're not experiencing it, you can feel like it's right there. Like a lot of times when we're ready to kind of change over to like a new path, even if we haven't fully embodied it, we can just feel like it's right there. And I feel like it is happening for you. Now, the thing that's going to happen for the first half of February here is we've got this Seven of Swords here. So there's something that you are going to need to recognize. I feel like there's going to be a situation that's going to come up this first half of February, where something is kind of sneaky or underhanded could be happening. And the reason that this is happening is this is part of your Gemini or third house North Node training, where you're going to need to recognize it and take, the proper actions, right? So what this is something that is just kind of like under the radar that you're going to need to kind of recognize. And the way you're going to recognize it, recognize it is look at things from your intuitive guidance side. One of the things that's not really, well known with the axis between, Sagittarius, your south node, and Gemini is you are naturally very intuitive. And this comes from a lot of your past life wisdom of having, a ninth house south node, or as I said, a Sagittarius south node. And so you're going to pick up on something, but what you want to do is pick up on it and then recognize it, because that's the thing about intuition. It's not like one step. It's not like something just pops into your head, but intuition is you begin to detect something, and then you have to recognize what it is. So the key is recognizing it and not kind of overlooking it, because the kind of danger and challenge could be, you kind of pick up, oh, something's really not right here, but you just say, oh, and you kind of slough it off, right? So this is what needs to happen now, and that's what this Queen of Swords up here is saying. Is the Queen of Swords is saying, like, this is you recognizing that. And the reason that I'm saying this Queen of Swords in regards to intuition is because it's going to hit you first, like something's not going to make sense to you mentally, like it's not going to add up. And then what you do is when you go deeper, you're going to be able to discover it. And this is part of this process of you kind of, I feel like this situation is tied to how you've been maybe not feeling quite right emotionally for the past, kind of several months. And so this is why this is coming to an end. So this is kind of like a test period where it's like recognize something that's under the radar. It could be something, in a relationship, it could be through friends, it could be through work. And when you recognize something's not right, like mentally it's going to trigger you. You're going to say, something's not right here. And then you go deeper, and your intuition will tell you how, how to kind of uncover what this is. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Six of Swords upright, and you've got the Queen of Wands reversed. I feel like the Queen of Wands is referring to an actual person in this situation. And it's about you recognizing you're seeing somebody, and the situation for who and what it is, okay? The court cards, the King, Queen, Knight, Pages, the court cards can be actual people in our life, or they could be energies, but I feel like this is an actual person. And it's not necessarily a female, okay, because the court cards could be any gender or sex. But it's that kind of, the difference between the king and the queen is it's just a different flavor of that energy. But most likely they probably have a lot of the fire signs within them. So it could be like, like Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries type energy that's very strong within them, in their chart. And what you're being asked to do is, it's almost like, they're not doing it on purpose, but they're dealing with them is like drawing you into trouble or turmoil. And what you're being asked to do with this Six of Swords is move away from this, move away from the drama, move away from this situation, because there's something that is, there's undercurrents that are kind of hidden from you. There's something, as I said, that's with this Seven of Swords, there's something that's kind of sneaky and underhanded within this situation. And if you walk away from it, you're going to be able to get that perspective of what it is. But as I said, I think it's a person involved in this situation. And this is part of your Gemini North Node training of using this skill set, okay, that you are developing, of being able to see through kind of BS and use that strength of the planet Mercury and Gemini to see at deeper levels, not only with your intellect, but also with your intuition. So yeah, just look deeper in the situation, and if anything doesn't add up in your mind and it makes you feel a certain way, look at it at a deeper level, because I think that you're going to be able to uncover this. And all you want to do is you just need to walk away from it. You need to recognize it or who for what and who they are, and you just need to like move away from it, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card for the first half of February that came up for you is the reversed 9 of Wands. And I think a big theme for you for this first half of February is revisiting old situations in your life, like old battles, old things that you've gone through, and different situations. And the big question is, like, what have you learned from these things? You know, because as we go through life and we go through certain situations, we can experience them and then we move on from them. But a lot of times people don't really like learn from them, you know? And so I think that this is a big theme for the first half of February is, you know, you're going to be revisiting these and realizing the value of what you've learned from different things, even though there have been like difficult situations. So there's this revisiting, and this makes sense too, as you know, as I said, the Venus is getting ready to go retrograde. So you Cancer North nodes or in the 4th house are really going to be visiting, you know, kind of revisiting this whole situation of what you've gone through in the past. Now, on your timeline cards, you've got the 8 of Pentacles. You've got the Ace of Cups reversed, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is a great card. What you're learning here is that as we learn on our life path, the value is not just like, okay, oh yeah, I learned this and I learned my lesson of what to do and what not to do in situations. The value in that is it's not just the learning from it, but how it affects our life in the future, and our timeline is changing our fortune to a more positive one, okay? And as we do that, you know, like if we have learned from things in the past and then a similar situation comes up and we've learned to avoid it, let's say, what that's doing literally is changing our fortune, okay? And I think that is the big thing, is that a lot of you have learned so much through different situations and you're applying in your life, and it's literally like changing your path to a more positive one. Now, these other 2 cards are linked over here. One of the big things that you've learned, and is like an ongoing thing, this is pretty much for your whole life, is the balance between your South Node in Capricorn or the 10th house and your North Node in Cancer in the 4th house, okay? Which is, you have the 8 of Pentacles here, which is about work and career and status and what it is you're trying to build in the world, as opposed to, you know, the Cancer side of things, which is emotions, relationships, the importance of those, okay? So it's this kind of, you know, emotion, practicality, opposition, or like, you know, work and love balance type of a thing. This is something that's been ongoing. That's been one of the big themes of finding that balance. Now, for a lot of you, I think that one of the things that has been obviously the most challenging, which is this reversed Ace of Cups, is getting that emotional side of your life correct, okay? Because you already have the skill set, most of you, to, you know, do Capricorn or the 10th house, okay? Work, career, all of that stuff. You have that. But one of the big things you're learning is to continue to make, you know, relationships, home, family, even if you don't have a family, but family meaning that those that are close to you, making things that are of an emotional nature important, okay? So that's been ongoing. And that's part of this learning process. and it's ongoing. The more you can kind of learn from that and make the adjustments, it's going to get you to this like good place of literally changing your fortune for the good. So that's been like a kind of a big ongoing thing throughout your life. Now, the two advice cards for the first half of February is you've got the Queen of Swords upright and you've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. One of the things that you're being asked to do here is you're being asked to make sure that as you're going through this first half of February, that you're having patience, because I feel like patience is going to pay off this first half of February, where you're waiting for things, you're not rushing through things, you're waiting to see how things develop, because there could be this feeling of like, okay, I just need to kind of get through this certain situation. And the Queen of Swords, I feel like, is an actual person, because the court cards like the Queen, Knights, King, and the Pages can be real, actual people, or they can be energies. I feel like this is an actual person. And I feel like this Queen of Swords is something that can be um a stumbling block, in the sense that it could kick you into some past patterns of causing that kind of impatience. So you're being asked to really look at the first half of February and where you can kind of show more patience, and especially with this person here. Now, this person, they could be any sex, gender. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that a female, but most likely they're probably like a like an air sign. So we're looking at kind of like Libra, kind of Aquarius, Gemini type energy. Okay, they have that strongly, and what they can do is, this situation is, it can get you out of your heart space, where your patience that you have, and that beautiful like understanding, patience, and compassion. And what it can do is it can trigger you into going up into your head region, right? And that's where it can like knock you off your balance. Okay, so that's what this is saying. I don't feel like most of you are going to kind of let it do that to you. I feel like you'll be able to navigate this, okay? But it's something to be aware of. Anything that knocks you out of your balance between head and heart, okay? If it's knocking you out, if you feel like it's really taking up a lot of mental energy and you're not feeling anything emotionally, that's kind of like a heads up, right? So just be aware of this. And the person that's involved in this, they don't know they're doing it. They don't, it's just something that it can trigger you into kind of knocking you off this, as I said, being the more like understanding, emotionally understanding, patient person that you are in the process of kind of developing. So just be aware of it. And anything, as I said, if it's getting you too much in your head, it's like a trigger warning to like say, okay, wait a minute, I gotta like stop here, and I gotta like bring this energy also balanced back into the heart space. Okay. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you for the first half of February is the reversed Queen of Wands. And I feel like this is an energy that you are embodying. You're beginning to embody more and more, because all the wands are referring to the fire signs, which is Leo in the 5th house, included in that. And the difference between, like, let's say the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands is it's not gender or sex specific, but it's a different flavor of that fiery energy. I would say like the difference would be like a fire that is like burning something away, like purifying metal would be more like kind of the King of Wands, whereas the Queen of Wands would be a fire that is like something that is warmth in a hearth, okay? So both are fire, but they kind of have different functions. And I feel like this is something that you are beginning to embody, and what the universe wants you to embody more is becoming this you have the ability in this lifetime to become like this warm fire, campfire, or a fire in a fireplace that draws people in. And it's nothing that you have to actually do. So let me explain this a little bit more. When you are coming from your south node in Aquarius and or the 11th house, a lot of times you're thinking, okay, I want to move more into this like Leo North Node energy, and I want to, but what is it that I have to do or say or embody in order to do this? So you're thinking about like things you need to do, and really all you need to do is become this like inner fire that draws people in naturally. It's nothing that you have to do. You don't have to attain something. You don't have to get a certain knowledge or training to do it. You just have to kind of become it. You become this person. And it's inside each one of you. You have the ability to be this fire. Now, if sometimes part of that is, yes, maybe you need to go to the King of Wands, which is more of a purifying fire, okay? And that's all part of it. But in this case, what's wanting to come up, as I said, is this nurturing fire that is naturally going to draw people in. Now, we'll get more information on your timeline, which is going to clarify it. Okay, so we've got on your timeline, you've got the Four of Wands upright. You've got the Seven of Wands upright, and you've got the Ace of Cups reversed. So starting with the Four of Wands here, this is a card, of celebration. So it could be anything from like, celebrating, holidays to weddings to all of that. But the deeper meaning of this card is, how are we individually on a daily basis celebrating the gift of life? And for example, like when we are going through our daily life, you see people that are just naturally kind of like life is like a celebration, and they don't have a specific reason. It's not their birthday, it's not their anniversary, or it's not a holiday, but it's just like they go through life celebrating life. It's like emanating within them. We've all met people like that, right? That's one of the clues for you, is that exuding that energy. And what it does is it not only draws people into you, but it draws situations into you. That's part of this embodying this. And again, it's not anything that you need to do. It's not like you need to wake up every day with a plan. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is like, kind of Aquarius. This is my plan to embody this. You just have to be it. And the only way to be it is like wake up and say like, okay, this is another day. I'm going to enjoy this day as much as I can to the fullest. Yes, there might be challenges, but I'm going to kind of celebrate this day, celebrate this moment, and it kind of comes from within. Now, the thing that can, there are going to be challenges, and that's what this Seven of Wands is saying, okay, as opposed to the Queen of Wands over here. But it's how do we go through those challenges? Are we able to kind of stand up to them and stand your ground? And I feel like one of the things that happens when challenges could come up when you have this South Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house is, when it comes up, it can knock you out of your heart space. And that's what this Ace of Cups reversed is saying, where it can trigger you. So when a challenge comes up, if you are able to stand your ground, keep in mind not to let it trigger you into like old ways, old patterns of being, ways that is kicking you out of your centered heart space type of a thing. And that's what this is really saying. This is part of your training. As you're going through a challenge, you face it head on, and I feel like you all have the ability to do this. You face it, and then be aware of where that takes you. Is it kicking you? Is it kicking you up into your mind too much, or is it kicking you, or are you allowing yourself to stay in this kind of heart space? Okay, and really the first part of February is what I'm saying is that there is going to be possibly for each of you like a little challenge that comes up, and you will be able to handle it. But just make sure that you don't let it kind of kick you out of that heart space and kick you into not really kind of, emanating this inner fire that a lot of you are developing. We'll get some more clarity too when we look at your advice card. So you've got the Sun card and you've got the Star card reversed. Now, the Star card is a card that is great both upright or reversed. But when it's reversed, it's like a challenge that is like ready to be resolved, but it's not quite ready yet. The Star is also very karmic in nature. And so I feel like this situation, the first half of February, is very karmic in nature. And it's like, this has to do with when you're able to go through this situation, it's going to level up your karma in a positive way. That's the possibility here. Okay. So you're very close to literally changing karma in your life. And I don't know, for each of you, this situation that's challenging is going to be different. But just think of it like if you're doing it and you're going through this and you're facing the challenge while keeping, this inner fire and this heart space open, it's going to help your karma, okay, your future karma. And then this is a big advice card right here for what you need to do, which is, again, going along with this like celebration of life, is keep in mind that you naturally, if you tap into it, have this sun energy. Okay, remember, Leo is ruled by the sun. The fifth house is ruled by the sun. This is your natural gifts if you decide to tap into them, but you have to be able to tap into them. And it's almost just like it's like flipping a switch. The way you do it is you just always think, am I shining as brightly as I always can? Am I not worrying about what other people think, what other people are doing, what other situations are around me? Am I just exuding the highest frequency of energy? Am I being that, warm fire that draws people in? Just think of it. You are like a warm campfire or a warm fire in a fireplace that draws people in on a cold day. That is one of the things that is, and as you do that, as I said, you're going to not only draw great people into your life, but just situations in general. So think of it that way. Think of what it is. You're just here to be that. Now, in a practical way, what does that mean? That means that, there's a situation that comes up like a challenge, right? With another person or people. Can you be that warmth? Can you be that warmth that draws them in this cold situation? Okay. And how can you do that? Is it through a kind word or a gesture, or is it, being strong for them, or showing some compassion, kind of staying in your heart space? All of these things is what, we've all met people like this that are literally like walking warmth. Okay. And that's what you're learning to do. And when you do that, as I said, it's going to level up your karma like nothing else. So go through this first half of February, go through this challenge, stand up, to it, stay in your heart space, and remember what your role is. Your role here is to be the shining sun. Okay. And when you do that, you're going to see that things are going to transform more and more for the better in your life. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you for the first half of February is the Five of Cups. And what I feel like is going on with you, North Nodes in Virgo, and or the sixth house, is there is something that you're revisiting emotionally in the past that could have been a wound. So I think for some of you, it's going to be something from the past, but also some of you, it could be something that is in the more recent past. For each of you, it might be different. But you're revisiting, kind of some old emotional wounds, whether they're more recent or not, and there's healing here that's happening. One of the most difficult north nodes is North Node in Virgo in the sixth house. It's because of the intensity of your south node in Pisces and or the 12th house. And so there's healing that's going on, and this is actually a positive reading because a lot of you are really on the mend emotionally, okay? And you're realizing that there is a way out. There's a way through these like emotional wounds, okay? There is a way out. Now, we'll get some more clarity on what it's talking about looking at your timeline. You've got the Seven of Swords reversed. You've got the Nine of Cups reversed, and you've got the Four of Swords. So what I'm feeling like is for the first half of February, one of the things that's happening is that a lot of you have went through something emotionally where it's almost like something was taken away from you emotionally. Something was also it could have been something underhanded or something that didn't seem fair or right, and almost like it was almost like the theft of your emotional well-being, okay? And a lot of you are revisiting that, which makes sense because as the planet Venus of emotions, and also relationships is getting ready to go retrograde. You're revisiting this, but it's a positive thing because I think that there's healing going on here. But there's something that each of you have gone through in different ways. That, as I said, it was like something that was like taken away from you, mentally and emotionally, and you have this reversed Nine of Cups, which is like the emotional wish card. It's like it 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 did some things that to you that were hard to recover from, okay? But you are recovering from that, and I feel like there's this first half of February, things are becoming more clear, and you're realizing that, okay, it happened, but I'm moving forward, and there's ways that you can move forward in this. So as this healing's going on, what's really happening is we're going to look at the Four of Swords here. What's happened is that this is a card of meditation. It's a card of making sense of something. It's a card of repose, and I think it's a card of reflection. And as you reflect on this situation, a lot of you are saying, okay, you're realizing this wasn't my fault. It's not because I wasn't good enough or I wasn't, didn't have everything I needed in this situation. It's nothing that has to do with me. A lot of you are realizing that this is just something that you went through, okay? One of the big things about your North Node, and when you look at the North Node either in Virgo, sixth house, or Pisces 12th house, either one, they are North Nodes and South Nodes of experience. So you've gone through some really, most people that have this North Node have gone through some really intense things. But what you're realizing is that it's just experience. And the experience gives you a deeper, richer life. It's like, the way I like to describe it is, people are like, why did I have to go through that? Okay, so think about, you see a person, like let's say taking like a young person, a teenager, as opposed to somebody that, is middle-aged, okay, that has gone through things, okay? You know, a person that is like a teenager, they haven't had the experience, so they don't really have a lot of rich experience to draw from. And yes, I mean, I guess that's good in some way, but they're very like inexperienced in life, as opposed to someone who's, let's say, middle-aged or older, where they've gone through things. Okay, now this could even mean the difference between someone could be in their 30s as opposed to a teenager, right? Because a lot of you have gone through some things at an early age. But what I'm saying here is that there is a richness in experience, and it is something that is of value. And I feel like what you're doing is, the first half of February, you're making sense of it. You're revisiting these wounds, and even more recent wounds, okay? That and you're making sense that it's nothing that you did, it was something that you just experienced, okay? And that's part of this healing process. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the World card, which is beautiful, and you've got the Seven of Cups upright. The World card is what's saying here is that you're realizing that your life, even through all the great experiences and the difficult experiences, has made your life richer, and it's made it, there's more depth to it. And that's the difference between, if you take like the example I gave of a teenager opposed to a middle-aged person. The teenager doesn't have the depth in their life, okay, because they haven't experienced much, okay, a lot of times, right? Whereas the person that's older has experienced much. So what you're realizing is, among all people, it doesn't matter what age you are as you're listening to this, you have a depth of experience that most people don't have. And that's something, that is of value. It's something that we need people like you that have more depth as opposed to shallowness. Okay. And so that's one of the things that you're learning through this. And you're learning that your world is more enriched, and you have things to offer to the world that someone that doesn't have the depth of your experience, they can't offer what you can offer. Now, the other advice card that you're learning here is, the Seven of Cups is, you're going through, there's choices, like, where do you go from here? So once we heal and we're in this period of repose and reflection, where do we go from here emotionally? Okay, so that's the big question for you. And that's the next question that you should be asking yourself. Where do you want to go? Okay, what is it that you really want? As you're moving away from one thing, you have to move towards something, okay? And so that is the question. And the way you're going to get that answer is, you're going to get the answer is, what is truly making your heart glad? What is making you feel the best possible way you can? What is drawing you in? What is healing to you? And that's part of this choice process. But you must make a choice. As we move away from one part of our life, we can't just lie in limbo. We have to move to another area. So as you have to make this choice of where it is you want to go emotionally, and only you can answer that. But remember, the key is, how is this emotional choice going to make you feel? How do you feel about it? Okay, how does it feel within you? Is it something that is healing to you? Okay, and when you see that, you're going to recognize it, because it's going to feel right, and then you move in that direction. So this emotional choice is very important. It's an important step in your healing, because you've gone from this area to the reflection, and now it's time to move in this new direction. But I think you're going to recognize it as long as you stay true to your heart. Remember, you have a natural intuition. Use that intuition, that inner guidance, turn that on, and you're going to be fine in this, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Libra and or the 7th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Two of Cups. And when I saw this card, it was really telling me that, it's all about emotional connection for you for the first half of February. The ruling planet of your North Node and of the 7th house is Venus, and Venus is doing so much this month and getting ready to go retrograde. And so, this is a time when your strengths can really come out to benefit you and others within relationship, okay? Let's look at your timeline cards and we'll get some more details on how these emotional connections are going to play out. So you've got the 10 of Wands upright. You've got the Page of Cups upright. And you've got the King of Wands upright. What I'm seeing, how this is going to play out for the first 2 weeks is, I feel like this 10 of Wands is playing out in two ways with other people around you in relationships, okay? It could be one person, it could be more than one person. And also within you. We'll start with you, okay? Sometimes, I know in this lifetime, because, it's all about relationships and connection for you in this lifetime, but you have, an Aries South Node or first house South Node. It can be very burdensome to work within relationships, okay? And I understand that, having a Pluto in the first house myself, okay? So relationships can be difficult, okay? They can be very straining sometimes, and they can be, burdensome. But the way you want to reframe it is, whether you know it or not, you do have a lot of natural talent that you can tap into in order to, connect with people more on an emotional level. And the reason for that is it's about refocusing your strengths into relationships, okay? So the way this is going to play out, besides, like feeling like burdensome, how relationships with people can be burdensome, I feel like there's going to be a person that, or multiple people the first 2 weeks, where they are going to feel emotionally burdened themselves. And you're going to be given the opportunity to lift them up, to take that warrior energy that you have and turn it around and use that strength to lift someone up emotionally, who they're being burdened, they're being burdened by emotions, and you're going to have the opportunity to lift them up. So that's what I mean. It's about using your gifts that you have of strength, courage, determination that you have in your, Aries South Node or first house South Node, and then reframing it into helping others. That's how relationships become less burdensome, because you're becoming more of a, using the gifts of being a proactive, warrior for people in your life. So I feel like there's going to be a person who's really going to need this emotional support from you. And the way this is really going to play out is over here with this King of Wands. Okay, this is the gifts that you naturally have. This is everything about, being an Aries South Node in the most positive sense, and also a first house South Node. It's the gifts that you have of strength. And that's what, you're learning in this lifetime. I feel like you're learning to take your strengths and include them to be a hero for other people. Now, really think about that for a minute, okay? There's two levels of a warrior type, okay? There's a warrior that is there to just kind of take orders, do whatever it takes to survive, to, win a battle, okay? That's level one. But a hero is one that takes all of that strength and all those gifts and use them to help people, help the collective. There's a difference between a warrior energy and a warrior hero energy, and that's what you're evolving toward. So I think this first half of February here is, there's going to be an opportunity for you to lift someone up. And then what you're seeing is that relationships with other people become less burdensome, because you are now becoming proactive and a helper to those around you, okay? And this, again, strengthens your connection emotionally to people. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Eight of Swords reversed, and you've got the Seven of Wands reversed. Now, the Seven of Wands reversed, the way this can feel, and this is like a heads up to you, when you're on your path, it can feel like when you are more kind of giving emotionally, when you give in, when you're able to say you're sorry, when you're able to like work with other people, it can feel like a weakness. And that's the way this plays out for people that have a south node in Aries and or the first house, is it can feel like you're coming from a position of you know, weakness and of not strength. But nothing could be further from the truth, okay? But it's going to feel that way. When a person who is a very strong, powerful warrior energy, but has an Aries south node or south node in the first house, having to show any sort of weakness is very difficult. Things seem like weakness, like, as I said, saying you're sorry, saying you were wrong about something, seeing another person's point of view. It feels like weakness, okay? But what you have to realize is that actually, even though it feels that way, it's not weakness, it's strength. And so what you're doing is you are sacrificing, and this is where the hero energy comes in, you're sacrificing some of your needs and wants and feelings for someone else or some other people, type of a thing, okay? And when you do that, that's when that hero comes in. But at first it feels like, you know, you're giving in, like it's a position of weakness, but it's not. And then this Eight of Swords reversed is, when you learn this, this is going to help you to come out of like a pattern, like a mental pattern. When you finally learn that the ability to be compassionate and soft and to give into a position and to acknowledge other people's feelings, when you start learning this, what you're realizing is it's going to free you up. But at first, as I said, it feels very strange. It feels like, oh, I don't like this because I don't feel strong. But then as you do it, what you're doing is you see yourself being freed up. And the end result is, look, more emotional intelligence, better relationships, better connection with people, okay? And you'll always have that natural strength, but what you're doing is you're transmuting it. As I said, you're going from a level 1 warrior to a hero. There's a big, big difference. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Tower card. Now, as I always explain on my channel, the so-called scary cards like the Tower, Death, the Devil card, all of that, they're nothing to fear. They're just certain energies. And what I'm feeling like is that the first half of February, there's going to be a situation that is going to kind of, you know, come to a head, and it might be a little bit surprising. I don't think it's going to be anything that is overtly, you know, shocking, but just a little bit, like a little bit of a wake-up call. And I see over here we've got a card which we'll get into, which is also about this kind of wake-up energy. And I'm going to explain the reason why this is happening, but this is actually very positive, because a lot of times when we get the feeling I'm getting with this, and a lot of times when we get like a little bit of a shakeup in our life, it actually puts us on a better path. Like one example would be, like, let's say that, you know, someone needs to make some health changes in their life, okay, in some way, right? And they keep putting it off and they keep putting it off. They keep, you know, putting off these health changes that they kind of know deep down inside they need to do, right? So they get some sort of like a wake-up call, like a little bit of a scare or a shock. And then all of a sudden it like wakes them up, and then they begin to say, that's it, I'm going to like, change things. I'm going to start, eating better, exercising, doing whatever it takes to like, get healthy. Okay. No, you can use that in any number of things. It could be like people in relationships, they have a wake up call and then they change, they realize they have to change, it could be someone who's a bachelor and then all of a sudden they realize, wait, I got to like, stop this lifestyle that I have of being a bachelor, and I have to like, settle down if I want to have any sort of life. I mean, you can just think of scenario after scenario, but that's all it is. So that little bit of a shock or shakeup gets them to move in a different direction. And I think that's what this is saying. So the first half of February, there's going to be this little thing where when it happens, you're going to already kind of know it. It's going to be like, okay, I already kind of felt that changes needed to be made. Okay, but now this is going to be like a clear kind of message. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards here. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. You've got the Page of Cups reversed, and you've got the Judgment card reversed here, okay? Now, we'll start with the Judgment card here. What this is saying is that the universe has been, when you see this all play out, you're going to realize and think back, okay, I've been getting these messages from my own intuition, just from around me in my life, from the universe. And you're going to recognize it, that it's like, okay, I've kind of felt that this was coming, type of a thing. Because I feel like what this is saying is that the universe has been wanting to kind of, it wants to get your attention about something. And what that something has to do with this Page of Cups here, okay, reversed. There's something emotionally that is not being communicated in your life, not being communicated out, and it's like the signal is being blocked. The signal is being blocked from outside, like it's not allowed to come in, and it's being blocked from coming out. There's some sort of a disconnect. And what it is that emotionally there is something in your life. It could be in a relationship, it could be in a job, it could be in a friendship. There's some sort of emotional disconnect. And all, the universe wants to do is make this connection. I think, for some of you, it could be like, an avoidance, like just wanting to keep your life more streamlined and simple. And so you have intentionally not, gone down this road emotionally. And so there could be a disconnect. But for each of you, as I said, it's going to be slightly different. But all you have to do is ask yourself this question: where do I need to open up the emotional connection within my life with other people, with relationships, with various situations? Where is it that I need to open up these channels? And you'll be able, if you really think about it, and really you're going to know that there's some areas where, for example, it could just be within a job situation where it's just not working emotionally, and something kind of has to be done because there's like a blockage there. And so you're going to notice when that happens. Now, the reason that the Wheel of Fortune is reversed is because, again, the Wheel of Fortune is a positive card, much like a reversed Sun card or a reversed Star card, for example. It's just an energy that, like, the wheel is constantly wanting to turn upright. It's being blocked right now. But the positive thing is that you're really close to a breakthrough. Okay, you can really change things around if you can open up these emotional channels in your life, wherever they may be. And as I said, when you think about it, one of the clues is going to be like, yeah, I've kind of been getting these messages that I needed to do this. You're going to know where they are because they're messages. And so, they're messages that have been kind of coming in, but maybe they've been ignored. And so this little bit of a shakeup with the Tower is just going to be like this kind of final kind of wake-up call. Now, on your advice cards, it's interesting. You've got the King of Pentacles, and you've got the Six of Wands. The King of Pentacles, this is referring to your south node at its highest, best level, okay? The best parts of your Taurus south node or house, second house south node. It's the best parts of that because we do have gifts within our south node. And you're going to be able to use that because when you kind of make this connection, what's going to want to happen is you're going to want to stabilize these energies. So once this line of emotional communication, wherever it may be, and it may be multiple lines of this emotional, connection, when it opens up, you're going to want to stabilize it, and your Taurus south node or second house south node is going to help you to kind of stabilize it. Now, the positive news here, again, this is going along with this Wheel of Fortune, is that you have the ability with this Six of Wands. This is about victory. This is about moving, leveling up, because a lot of you are very, very close to kind of hitting that next positive level of doing this. And so figure out where these blockages are, because a lot of success could come from this when you open up this kind of flow. It's almost like the feeling I get is like when you look at if like a stream or a river, gets like, dammed up and like there's something stuck in it. And then when that, the debris is cleared and that stream can flow more freely. And I feel like that's the energy that's like waiting right there for you when you kind of open up these channels. I see this feel this like free flowing energy. And what it's going to lead to is, you're going to see at different levels, depending on where each of you are on your path, you're going to start to see success come in really almost immediately as you clear these blockages that are these emotional connections, right? Anyway, make it a great month, and make sure to look and see where it is there could be some blockages emotionally within your life. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your personal astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out is the reversed Magician card. And one of the things that can happen with a reversed Magician is it could be like a misuse of power, and an abuse of power. It also can be like a trickster type energy, because the Magician is naturally one of the most talented of all the tarot cards. It's like multi-talented, multifaceted. But when it's misused or misdirected, as I said, it could be like this abuse of power and abuse of gifts. Now, I feel like this is happening where it's something for you to recognize in your life, more coming from outside. This energy is something to where when you recognize it, it's getting you to maybe change direction. So maybe you're seeing something in a relationship. It could be a work relationship. It could be a personal relationship. For a lot of you, I think this is going to happen somewhere within what you do for a living. Now, even if you are a stay-at-home, parent or you're not working right now, this is going to be around something that you're doing on a daily basis, part of your routine. But for many of you that are working, it's going to be work and career. Now, we'll look at your timeline cards and get some more clarity on this. So you've got the 7 of Swords, you've got the 8 of Pentacles, and you've got the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the 7 of Swords here, okay, this is also going along with this trickster energy. There is something that, there is something sneaky or kind of underhanded that you're being asked to kind of recognize and clarify, okay, somewhere in your life. As I said, for a lot of you, with this Eight of Pentacles, it's going to be around your work, career, and work meaning anything that you're doing on a regular basis, okay, whatever that is. So even like the home environment, right? And there's something that you're needing to recognize. And the reason for this is it has to do with the applied wisdom that you're learning in this lifetime. You're going from, the Gemini ruled by Mercury is knowledge. And where you are going in this lifetime in Sagittarius, or the ninth house, is applied knowledge or wisdom. Okay, and so you're needing to recognize something. You're gonna see that there's something that's not right. Maybe you've been feeling intuitively that there is something not right in a situation regarding work or any other sort of relationship in your life. And as I said, it could be like a trickster type energy, someone abusing power of some sort, something sneaky, okay? And when you recognize it, what it's going to do is it's going to clarify your path and knowing because it's almost like when you're in the dark about something like this, you are making decisions and acting from a position of not knowing. So like once you know, it gives you this whole other direction, like, oh, okay, I know I need to stay away from them, or I need to change direction. So that's what the knowledge does, is it helps you kind of direct your path. Now with the Ace of Pentacles here, there could be an element here that has to do with, money, finances, raises, bonuses, property, investments, any things of value. It could be a car, it could be, anything that we think of physical value. It could have to do with, okay? So keep your eyes open. More importantly, keep your third eye open, because you do have a natural intuition, and kind of uncover whatever this is. I think you're going to discover it, and you're going to know, because you're going to feel it intuitively, and so you need to kind of investigate it to kind of uncover this whole thing. Let's look at your advice cards. So you've got the Hierophant upright, and you've got the Sun card. Now, these are great cards. This is, again, the Hierophant is a card of not only tradition, but in this case, it has to do with like higher learning and philosophy. This is part of your education. So think of the Hierophant as, a studious professor, right? So what this situation is it's training you, and it's allowing you to apply wisdom, okay? Apply knowledge, which can turn into wisdom. And that's what it is. It's applied knowledge into wisdom. And when you recognize this, the way you apply it is this. You want to take this situation with the Sun here. You want to realize, what is the Sun as opposed to the Moon, okay? The Sun is daytime. This is bringing clarification to your life. What the end result of this is going to be like, you're going to see things in the light of day. Things aren't going to be hidden like they were. Things that were once hidden, like what the Moon might show in a reading, things the Sun is going to illuminate. And when that happens, that's how this is going to free you up. Because ultimately what this is doing is, when you're realizing this, and you're able to not only pick up on what's going on here, but applying that wisdom, what it's ultimately doing is freeing you up to make appropriate decisions. Okay, do I need to be involved with this person or this organization or whatever it happens to be? So be aware of what could be going on, under the surface with things, anything that could be, sneaky or kind of trickster energy. And you're going to know, because your intuition is going to tell you. You just have to pay attention to it, because it's not going to be something that is going to slip by you unless you ignore your intuition. So kind of go with that. And as I said, this is all part of this learning process of you kind of stepping into your power, of living a life that is moving toward your personal like philosophy and wisdom. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius in the 9th house. But yeah, very, very powerful first half of February. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more readings. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Wheel of Fortune upright. And I feel like a lot of you North Nodes in Capricorn and or the 10th house have done a lot of work as far as working on your path and helping to take control of changing your fortune. And what this is saying is that you are kind of at the beginning of this whole new point of changing direction. Okay, this whole new way of being, it's like right there. And what this new way of being is getting you to really kind of create the life that you want. A lot of you are doing that. No, each of you are at kind of different levels there, but a lot of you, even if it hasn't started to begin for you, you're kind of feeling it. Okay, and the really positive thing is that in order for you to kind of make this Wheel of Fortune work for you, it's just kind of going forward a little bit, but not moving forward in a physical way, but it's more like planning. Like I feel like you're in this planning stage as opposed to taking action. Okay, so there's first we do the planning, and we do the dreaming, and we do the kind of structuring of things, and then we can work on moving forward. Let's look at the timeline and we can get some more clarity here. You've got the 3 of Wands upright. You've got the Knight of Swords reversed. And you've got the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Now, what I was saying about planning is what's wanting to happen right now in your life is you're needing to see and you're needing to plan for the future. You're needing to look in and see a direction that you want to go. A lot of you, if you don't have an idea of, let's say, where it is you want to be in 5 to 10 years, and that's okay if you don't, ask yourself that question. Like, where do I want to be in my life? What do I want my work and success to look like? What do I want my home life to look like? My relationships, whatever it is, start looking toward the future. And this is part of the planning stage. Now, the reason I said it's not time for action at this particular time is because sometimes if, it's like this old saying, they say, like, don't go out half cocked, which is, like an old reference to a flintlock rifle. You're not ready to fire that rifle because it's at half cock, right? And so what this is saying with this Knight of Swords reversed is saying that you don't want to like rush out in the middle of planning. First you plan, then you take action. So this is saying that you're in a planning period right now. You're not necessarily in an action period. Now that action period could start very soon. It could happen, as soon as like the end of this month or next month. For each of you, it's going to be different. For some of you, it might be several weeks or a few months. But it depends on where you're at in that planning stage. And the reason for that is that there's some things that with this 2 of Pentacles reversed, there's some things that need to be worked on. For some of you, it could be like getting money issues straight or something, or just juggling things in your life. Maybe it's juggling time, because Pentacles can also refer to our most valued possession, which is our time, right? So there's things that need to be worked on. And that's the reason why you're not quite ready to actually take action, but some more planning is required. But first ask yourself the question, as I said, where is it that you want to go? What is it you want to do? And if you don't know, that's something that we should figure out. Like, where do you want to be, as I said, in 5 to 10 years, in your life? And that's part of this process. And so before you actually start taking action, you want to kind of first know where you're going, because if you do, it's going to be a little bit on like shaky ground if you move too soon. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Ace of Cups and you've got the Ace of Swords. Now, this is really interesting. I feel like this advice here is actually looking at your South Node, this Ace of Cups, and also your North Node with the Ace of Swords. We'll take the Ace of Cups is referring to your South Node in Cancer and or the 4th house, right? Which is, most of you have emotions down, okay? You have emotional intelligence. Most of you have a depth of emotions, okay? And it can be a double-edged sword, okay? It can be, it can serve you, but it also, too much emotion can be like a little bit where you're overly sensitive, okay? But I feel like what you're learning in this is the balance. And I feel like the best parts of the emotional side is going to help you to plan for the future, because what is it that is affecting you emotionally? What is it that is really kind of driving you in what you want to do? Now, the Ace of Swords is coming in as your North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house, which is, planning, which is standing your ground, which is taking a stand in a certain direction. And what you're doing is you're learning to balance these two things out. So really the first 2 weeks of February, it's about planning and it's about balancing things out regarding where it is you want to go, what you feel like emotionally, and how you're going to do that. And in planning everything out, okay, that's this South Node. And then at some point in the very near future, you're going to be ready to act on that. But if you don't know where it is you want to go, then you're just letting it up to, chance or the universe to decide for you, okay? And this is something where you have the opportunity to kind of take control, take the reins, and direct that. And the end result is, like I said, when you do this, there's a lot of success waiting out there for you. Because always remember, North Nodes in Capricorn and or the 10th house are built toward success, okay? You are built toward success, whether you know that or not. All you have to do is move in that direction, take the necessary steps out of comfort zones and moving toward that success, because it is there for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more readings. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card for the first 2 weeks of February that popped out for you is the reversed moon card. And what I'm feeling like for the first 2 weeks here is, for each of you, there are some things that are being revealed in your life, in different areas of your life. For some people, it could be one area of life, for some multiple levels of their life and areas. And things are coming to light. Like the moon reversed is like things that were once hidden are coming to light. And there's things that you're becoming aware of, which is positive, okay? For some of you, it could be maybe you were seeing things in a certain way, and now you're seeing things kind of more clearly. That can be uncomfortable, okay? But for the most part, it's always for the good. When we can see things as they really are in the light of day, it's always more positive. Now let's look at your timeline. We'll get some more clarity here. You've got the World card reversed. you've got the Four of Wands reversed, and you've got the Ace of Swords upright. So the World card is one of those cards like the Sun, like the Star card. When it's reversed, it's also positive. But what that means is it's an energy that is somewhat blocked, but it's there. I like to say a lot of times it's like on a sunny day when there's cloud cover that covers the sun. The sun is not gone, it's just being obscured or blocked. That's kind of how when you see the World card, that really you're at the point right now where you've done so much work, okay? You North Nodes in the 11th house and or Aquarius, you've done so much inner work and outer work where you're really close to breakthroughs, right? Now, part of the breakthrough that's happening is, and what you're seeing is that you're seeing areas of your life that, with this Four of Wands, areas that were stagnant and that are now needing to be like freed up. Because when you look at the number 4 in any of the 4 cards, 4 is like a number of stability, like the 4 corners of a house or 4 corners of a table, right? But too much stability, when there's too much, it's almost like a prison or a jail, right? There's too much stability, too much predictability. And what you're seeing is that now you're seeing areas of your life where you're freeing things up. And the way you're freeing them up is things are coming to light and you're like, oh, okay, I see this clearly now. I have to make certain changes. I'm seeing this clearly. I have to, I see this person. So things are becoming more clear. And as you're doing that, it's clearing up this kind of stagnation just in a very natural way. Now, the Ace of Swords is interesting because what you're being asked to do with all of this is you're being asked to set boundaries, and you're being asked to take action. You're being asked to be strong in this, okay? And you're being strong because what you're doing is, as you're seeing these things that are coming to light, you have to make sure that you don't get caught up in the energy of letting it bring you down or get you down. Like when you finally see something for what it is, whether that be a job or a relationship or something, when you see it for truly what it is, you can't beat yourself up and say, why didn't I see that before earlier, or I can't believe I was fooled, or whatever that is. You just have to say, okay, I'm glad I see it. You pick up your sword and it's like, move on. You take some sort of a stand. And when you do that, you're going to see that you're not going to get stuck in the energy. So essentially what the sword is doing is it's helping you to get unstuck. And you want to make sure that you're thinking about all this correctly. Don't think about how you were stuck and get caught up on that. Just say, okay, I'm not going to be stuck anymore, and I'm moving out of this energy. Now, your advice cards, you've got the Magician card upright, and you've got the Fool card reversed. Now, the Magician card is interesting because what I think it's telling you, North Nodes and Aquarius, and or the 11th house, is that what you want to use your time right now is you want to start building skill sets in some area of your life, like skill building, using the energy to, this could be for some of you learning something new in your career, a change of career, getting more education, getting more training in something, even just learning new things, okay? Improving the skills that you already have. I think that a lot of you that have this North Node are already walking in, most of you have a pretty, creative skill set. Most of you are talented. Most people that have a Leo South Node or, 5th house South Node are already multi-talented. But I think you want to improve on that. And more importantly, you want to start using those skills that you have. But how you're going to use them is first you're gonna need to improve on them. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm seeing like with this Fool card reversed is, the Fool is saying, don't venture off. Like, as you're seeing things for how they truly are, don't be too quick in moving off into a new direction. Take some time. Really see where you're going. Like take a pause, and your time is better spent with, increasing and enhancing the skill set that you already have. Okay, in some way, shape, or form. And as I said, that could be going to a seminar, it could be reading a book, it could be furthering your education, something to that effect, as opposed to, because there could be this kind of impulse to, when we get freed up from something and we see things, we're just like, okay, I'm out of there, and we're like moving on. And we don't really spend the time to wait for that transition. It's like the tide coming in and out. We have to wait for the tide to come in and out, and you have to wait for that next tide to come in. Okay, and then you can move out, and that's part of this whole process before you move off kind of too quickly into something. So yeah, when you recognize these things that are coming in your life, they're freeing you up. Don't worry if you see a friendship, a relationship, a work situation, when you're seeing it for what it truly is, don't beat yourself up that you didn't see it earlier. Just take that and say, okay, now where do I need to go? Where can I take this energy now that I'm freed up and improve myself? And then at some point, I feel in the near future, you're going to be asked to, okay, now I can move forward. Now I can take what I've learned and kind of move on. So you're kind of at this like pausing plateau, okay? Which is a very positive thing. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more readings. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card for the first half of February that popped out is the reversed sun. And when I saw this card, one of the things that the reversed sun is the sun card can also, can refer to optimism. And that's the word that really kind of, when I saw this, it popped into my head. What is the advantage and the power of, being optimistic as opposed to being pessimistic? I think if we ask ourselves a question, okay, there's a fine line between being overly optimistic, which is like, foolish, right? Like but there's also something to where we can be so practical, that turns into pessimism. You kind of see the spectrum, right? But you ask yourself a question, okay, we'll ask ourselves right now, is there a benefit to being optimistic? Is it also detrimental to be pessimistic? I think we know the answer to that, right? It's always better to be optimistic, especially if we can do it in balance. It doesn't mean being foolish and just, being completely oblivious but having optimism is a very powerful thing. Now, the reason that this is coming up, I think this is a skill building thing for you for this first 2 weeks. And the reason this is coming up is we're going to get some more clarity here. We'll look at your timeline cards. You've got the King of Swords upright. You've got the Ten of Wands upright. And you've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. The King of Wands is referring to your South Node. Both the good qualities of your South Node and the not so good qualities of your South Node. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so your South Node in Virgo and or the 6th house is ruled by the planet Mercury, okay? Which is being able to analyze things, being able to focus, being able to, solve problems. Okay, all of that is very, positive, right? But also what could come with that is overthinking things. So what I mean by that, and this is where there's a fine line between, optimism. I think if we err on the side of optimism, it's, probably a better thing. But what I mean by that is, let's say that, you go to somebody close to you and you say, I have this idea. I have this idea that I want to do this or go there or do something, right? And then the person says, not wanting to be negative, but just says, well, have you ever thought about this? What are you going to do in this case? What if this happens and that happens? And are you sure that you have the, ability, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all of that stuff, right? It's not necessarily bad stuff, but there's a fine line. Like we could do this to ourselves. We could maybe get excited about something and get optimistic and then talk ourselves out of it because we start thinking of all the things that could go wrong. The reason I say this is the positive and the negative of, your South Node is that, yes, it is good to plan and to analyze things, okay? But a lot of times it's, it can be like a personal dream killer, right? Where we can overthink things. Yes, are there pitfalls in taking a certain action? Of course, right? But if we worry too much about that sometimes, it can limit us, okay? Just like that person maybe telling us all of the things that could go wrong, okay? So what I'm seeing here is that the first half of February, what's going to play into your life and really help you is trying to develop more optimism and hold back and think when, overusing the mind and overthinking, trying to limit that, okay, and balance that out. Now, what this causes is that as we, anybody that, look, I am talking to myself just as much because I've got Pluto and Virgo, right? So I've got some Virgo tendencies, right? So I know what this is. What it can cause is it can cause unnecessary burdens on us, because then it's like with each thing you think about, and it doesn't necessarily mean that those conclusions and those things that you're analyzing, those points are wrong, but it's like you start adding up, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? And you start carrying these burdens around. It's just like, okay, forget it. I am not even going to do it. It can get to so burdensome. And so also with this, night of, this is referring to your South Node also, the Knight of Pentacles, is that the Knight of Pentacles reversed is like stuck in something and then needing to get unstuck. Okay, so you think holding burdens, and this poor knight is like stuck in the mud, okay, mired in it. We can get mired in our own overanalyzing. We can get mired in our overthinking, okay? And so try to think of ways all the time in your life, but especially the first 2 weeks, where you can kind of be lighthearted and be more optimistic. And if you find yourself starting to say, well, what about this and what about that? Try to calm that down. Just try to keep this kind of optimistic type attitude, because there's power in that. And the weird thing is that it seems so, almost silly in a way. You think like someone that's optimistic, it just seems so I don't know, when you think about it, because it seems impractical almost, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's just an optimistic attitude. But what I'm saying is don't underestimate how powerful that is. An outlook, having a certain outlook, just like a negative outlook, I think all of us can agree watching this video, right? That a person that has a negative outlook tends to be more negative, or a person that has a more optimistic outlook. The person that has more optimism is really at an advantage, and the person that's more pessimistic is more at a disadvantage. I think we can all agree on that. And that's what this is saying. It's just saying it's better to err on the side of optimism always. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Judgment card reversed, and you've got the Five of Wands upright. So what this is saying is that the Judgment card is the universe has been trying to give you this message for a while. Okay, this is about waking up to something. And I think that, you know, the wake up call here with Judgment is you're waking up from one state of being to another, and you're waking up to realizing that it's really good to see things from a more lighthearted point of view sometimes, okay? And it doesn't mean you have to be blind to pitfalls. It just means that you really have to balance it out. Make sure that, you know, you're not, the universe has been trying to get your attention on this for a while is what I'm saying. And you want to make sure that you're kind of listening to that. Now, how has the universe been giving you this message? It's been giving you this message through conflict, but not necessarily conflict with others, but I'm thinking like an internal conflict. Like there are for a lot of you, you may kind of feel that there seems to be some sort of an internal battle going on within you, within your being, within your mind, okay? And that's what's causing the conflict, is because part of you desires to be free and to go off into this, you know, explore everything about your North Node and Pisces in the 12th house and the magic of the universe and the connection to the cosmic reality. But then another part of you is holding you back because you're staying in the practical, okay? So really what this is doing is simply, the key for you is always go for the more optimistic outlook in everything, and limit the amount of overanalyzing and overthinking on certain things, because it's going to free you up. Okay, it's going to free you up, because you'll always have the ability, even if you're optimistic, to see, you know, things come up, they need to be taken care of, but you don't need to make a list of 50 things that could go wrong in your mind, because that doesn't help you. That's where it can be burdensome, and it's causing this kind of like internal conflict. But yeah, anyway, very, very positive stuff, and very, very surprising. I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.